Hello. How is everybody? Oh, Polly, how are you? Because you're the only person that said hello so far. You good? What's fresh? Uncle Bong. Hello. Have you had a good day? What's been going on? I think I did leave my bin, but I put it. I'll use that. God, I need to get some of this. Oh, it's better. I'll take my watch off. So I was out in the garden today and the shed I should say. I got this bit all sanded down flat, so I need to glue that in. Fill these gaps in here. Get that sanded nice and smooth. So we're going to bookend our stream today with working on this. Let's get the super glue out, eh? Let's try. Thought I'd opened it. Let's try now. I'm getting there. I'm getting the glue out. Just like that, I think. Yes. We won't need that anymore. It's getting awkward, this lid. I think we should push that into the corners with something. Might need to put a little bit more in the corners there. Psycho, hello. How are you doing? Think that'll do. We're okay. We're okay. We're just plowing on. You may remember me saying in the past that I got my radio license last Christmas. I think it was just after Christmas, and I eventually got my antenna set up. Oh, I need to do this middle. Eventually got my antenna set up in May. And the frequencies I was using, or the bands I was using, it's called the 2 meter band and 70 centimeter band. That's the length of the wavelength. And those are mostly line of sight comms, or just over the horizon, I suppose you could say. So you don't get a lot of range out of them. So in order to communicate with people, especially in my area, you rely on a repeater network, which is a collection. Well, a repeater network is a collection, but a single repeater is an automated, like a radio and a power supply and an antenna somewhere, which in fact it's 2 radios. One listens and one repeats. So if you're tuned into the station of the repeater, it'll pick your message up and instantly retransmit it onto the other one, therefore getting more range. So a repeater network has a number of repeaters scattered around all over these here around. And when you can reach one, it'll relay the message to the others. So the repeater which I could connect to was great for me. You know, I could hit the repeater, I could talk to people, no problem. Great signal strength. Anyway, the person who owns the repeater has decided that he wants to have less reliance on running everything, so he's taken the repeater down, which means my ability to contact with the people in the area or use the repeater network has been severely diminished. So much so that I can't actually make contact with anybody on the repeaters at the moment. Now, somebody also nearby has said they're going to try and set the repeater back up their location, but it's unknown whether I'll be able to hit or communicate when that's back up. So I'm a bit frustrated and annoyed that I can't really do anything on my radio. I mean, you can get a digital, like a digital gateway, it's called, where I've got like a little Raspberry Pi computer which listens to any broadcasts that my radio transmits, and it digitizes those signals and sends it over the internet for everybody else on the network to hear. And anybody on the network I hear via the internet, basically. So it becomes a VoIP or a VoIP setup, like a Discord, and that's not radio to me. I have no interest in that. So it's a bit shitty. The service over the VoIP thing is really good, but it defeats the purpose as far as I'm concerned. There's one or two, but everybody else can also hit one of the other repeaters. Because I'm in like a hole, well, in a valley. I'm on one of the sides of a valley. So I don't know what to do. Missed a bit there. And the only other thing I can think of at the meantime is either A, just bite the bullet and use the digital gateway. But if I want to use actual radio, I might have to save up for a radio system on a different band. So, in as simple terms as possible, there's an allocation. Okay, it's not an allocation. There's a wave. There's a wave band, big massive wave band from high frequency all the way up through to very high frequency to ultra high frequency. Now, the higher the frequency, the shorter the wavelength. So for example, you may have heard, I don't know whether you have done, but there's like a ham radio band, maybe like on 80 meters or on 40 meters or on 20 meters. That's the length of a wave. Now, for local comms, like a walkie-talkie radio type thing, they use VHF, very high, and ultra high UHF radio. So they're on 20 and 70 meters. So the higher the frequency, shorter the wavelength, and the shorter the range. So the other thing I'm thinking of, I get like a 20-meter radio. I could run a long, thin wire then out the garden to a tree, and at least I can, do radio stuff. But it's just the nature of 70 centimeters, 2-meter radio that you usually are reliant on repeaters to get messages out. So I think I've filled all these holes in for now. It looks an absolute mess. Look at it. But at the end of stream, we'll come back to it, see whether it's hardened, because it's going to take a couple of hours to fully harden. It's not wet to the touch, but it's still soft underneath the skin. And then we can sand it all flat. But that's going to be the shield. It's going to have artwork on there. We've got the custom artwork ready. I just need to get it sent to the printers. So it's going to be a bit like the other Lancer, but this one's going to have the Emperor on the throne on it. So I might have to get some stuff sold. I might just cut my losses and try and sell that Reaver Titan. Right, the other thing I wanted to do was work on these bits and these bits. These are all the chains, so we could probably just dry brush a little bit of silver on these. We'll use gunmetal. Again, still haven't got any gunmetal. The annoying thing about radio is, if you think Warhammer's expensive, radio can get silly expensive. So I have to look at like Chinese radios and stuff, and then use software. Like all the old-fashioned people would have like a full fancy radio with all the knobs and dials and stuff. But I use usually software-defined radio to work it all. Doesn't take much to make these look like chains. Well, I don't think there is a cheap hobby. There isn't one. But then you think of, if you get into it properly and treat it as a hobby, then you spend money on it. You say, oh, well, just watching telly is not expensive. Well, you have to buy a telly. And you'll be watching like new movies when they come out, and then you'll have a sound system or a projector, and you'll have a proper movie watching like chair thing. You might have a popcorn machine. It all gets expensive no matter what you're doing. It's just really frustrating because I've got everything set up, finally managed to get the antenna on the roof, and then potentially if this connection to the new repeater location doesn't work out for me, then it's just like, well, it's no good. Chains are done. We haven't done the skulls. We'll do the skulls in a bit. Let's see what we need to do. We need to get rid of this crappy brush. This was a Rosemary and Co. Which Rosemary and Co was it? .323, that one was. So these bits are all wood. Well, no, they're not all wood, are they? That's not wood. That's pipes. That stays black with silver bands, so we can do that one. So what's everyone else been up to today? Psycho, what have you been up to? Paulie, about you? primed up some terrain and played more Borderlands. Are you nearly done? How far through are you? Yeah. On your fourth character. Yeah, I've been getting your money's worth out of it then. They're going to be metal spikes, aren't they? So I need to paint them brown before I do this. Like, my thing about Borderlands is like it's never been about the story. The story's always been shite. It's always been about the guns and making the guns and not making them, but finding the guns and doing all the loot stuff. But I've done that 3 times already. It doesn't feel like it's progressed its core thing in any meaningful way. So they've all just felt more of the same to me. I want a brown for these woods. Or 2 browns, in fact, for these woods. Dark umber will do for 1. I want the heartwood to be a paler colour. Like a khaki. Maybe khaki is the wrong colour. Are you doing any hobbying tonight then, Paul? Or are you still just sorting stuff out? I'm comparing paint bottles to the wood that I've got next to me. Oh, that's better. It's closer, but not quite. That one? Closer. It's almost like a yellow I want. Almost like a yellow. Printer's running. This colour will do. Maybe we can always mix a bit of that, can't we? Who's watching the stream, mate, tonight? I don't know. I need a little mixing container for paint. Oh. This one will do. What the hell's been in there? Maybe that one won't do. I've used that one before. No, we'll just use what we've been using for forever. So they're all painted, so we can take them off there. The off ends will touch up once it's on the model. And we'll get rid of all that and turn it over because it's going to be covered in paint. I want to stick some more stuff to this. No worries. Everything died though, Paulie. Okay, so we're going to put dark umber on the wood. We'll leave the spikes for now. We might use that on the spikes and then I can highlight up. The tops of these are carved like a steak. Good evening, Heinrich. How's it going? Heinrich, I might need you to see if you can do me a favour. You're up for the challenge. I'm painting the sticks from the top of the Chaos Knight. Yeah, I need to sell my Reaver Titan. In its state of unfinishedness. Well, you did a lot of buying and selling. I'm wondering whether you can either advise me of where to go, what to do, or where to look out for, or not to look out for. It's not far off. Don't even know what painted Titans go for. I'm not after like massive profit. I just need some money. Which is why I was thinking of just selling it in its current sort of state. Which leads me to think that is there any point in putting the effort into painting it? What even is a RRP these days for a Reaver plus 3 weapons, fist, melter, volcano cannon, and rocket pod? It's all painted other than weathered. Actually, it's not all painted. The volcano cannon's not painted. That's still in plastic or resin. Yeah, all painted just needs weathered. Just okay. Wood spears are fairly accurate in colour, I think. He's got a certificate. Interesting, this paint's been hydrophobic. You see? Sometimes, I don't know what causes it, but I think because this was primed a couple of days ago, sometimes Proacryl paint does it, and I haven't worked out why it does it yet. It's clean, there's no oils on these. The wood was fine. Just this base colour. Let's see what happens if we put a little bit of flow improver in. It should act as a bit of a surfactant. Yeah, if I got somewhere around that, well, not even that, like just around RRP, I'd be happy with. Here's something and finish it off. It's in Gryphonicus as well, so it's in a fairly popular scheme. The yellow one, yellow and grey. Lots of packing peanuts. The surfactants helped. Peanut Crusher. So yeah, who knows anyone that wants a Titan? I can do them a good deal on one. Yeah, but no one wants Chaos ones. If Fuck wants a Chaos Titan, sort of Madman wants one of them. I don't think I'd want to do it via eBay. That can get fucked. Plus, my eBay account is a business eBay account, and I don't want any of that nonsense. Because any subject to like returns and stuff. It's one more or less ready. I have to get some pictures of him sorted out. Or I could just say, like, you can either have it as it is for X price, or if you want me to finish it off, it's going to cost you Y price. These little spikes are a pain in the ass. Does that mean you'll be painting next week? To be honest, it's painted that thin, you wouldn't even need to strip it. Titans are a different beast to a mini. Yeah, yeah. Anyone excited about the new Orks that were announced for pre-order next week? Anyone getting any of them?
There's this farmer that feeds his cows money. He wants really rich milk.
Thank you very much. That was a good one. Yeah, I'd be in no rush to get the boys. Plenty of them to paint. You don't have to play with that, do you? I think this is actually for one of the arbiters. Should paint it just in case. That's good. Good to hear. Right, we need to highlight diesel. Bone. There would be. But they're all dirty and I can't face cleaning them right now. They're okay. I'm going to stick these on soon. I've already forgotten how I painted that orc, by the way. I mean, I roughly know. But with enough, I can't remember to make the next one probably quite different. No, never. Never do, never have. Part of it, when I was learning to paint, I didn't write stuff down because I wanted to be able to look at a model and study it and try and work out how it was painted in order for me to not rely on instructions or recipes, or if I couldn't have a recipe for something, then I didn't want to be in a position where I didn't know how to paint it. Where I can usually look at something now and work out its process to a degree where I don't really need to write stuff down. I mean, I'd get close. If I painted this again now, hang on, I was drunk. So if I painted this again now, it'd be similar, but it wouldn't be an exact copy. It'd be similar enough where you probably wouldn't notice. And as it's a living thing, variance is what you want. You don't just want clones, do you? No, I never judge gun barrels. One false move, and it looks like shit. So I don't do it. Right, I need this chair closer. This. I can use a bit of Titan. This guy doesn't get a cockpit. He can't get one because he has to have these on, and then when these go on, it connects everything up. So I might actually glue this down here. That's what we're going to do. Where's my thicker glue? Is this my thicker glue? I think this is the thicker glue. to put some glue on here while I'm at it. Glued on. Next. Next, we need to work out where all these other bits go. So I've got one of them and one of them. So they could go in there, but also they could go in here. Is one shorter than the other? That's the shorter one. What about from there to there? That could go there to there. And you and you. So that was where there to there. So here to here. Okay. Should we get a picture up first before we commit? What is it, a night desecrator? Despoiler. So it looks like you can put it sort of anywhere you want. Okay. I have pictures up. I think we were about right. So we're going to have Be careful here, not drip glue. In there. You went to where? You went to there. So this one. Let's go in there. And we'll check. The problem I'm having is that that skull looks like it's an eagle. Like you and you. So they fit. And they fit. Okay, I like that better. Fucking spikes. Once so far. Today. So yeah, if anyone wants a good deal on a Reaver Titan, let me know. They're okay. This one maybe wants to come forward a bit. To there. Now we have other bits for the holes to fill. How many holes do we have to fill? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Spike. And Spike. Cannot see. Spikes. Now, let's put his chains in. Let's take that off. Move that out of the way. That has to go from there to there. Can you get his gun in there still? Yep, that'll help secure that. Then we've got pipes on the other side. His pipes on that side, his chains on that side, his spikes on the top. Now we've got two more little chains to add. One under here. And the other one on the other side. Chains and chains. Chains and pipes. Evening, Mark. And other spiky bits. He uses exhausts on next, I think. Let's give him some chaosy weapons. That's a chaosy weapon. How's it going, Mark? And that's a chaosy weapon. Can't even see this chaosy weapon. It's the big arm down the back of it. You get it in a better position than that. Just, I don't want to hit that bit of chain I've got dangling down. So we'll do a little bit of tidying up. And then we're going to check that shield that we've done. And we'll come back and paint up the skulls and stuff on these. And a bit of touch up on the silver to do, etc. Now, we've still got a little bit to like candles and stuff we can add to these. Need to do research on the best way to achieve a sort of dripping wax sort of a look. He hasn't got his mask on yet. He's not going to have this one, but he could have that one. Okay, so paintbrushes out the way first. We'll deal with those. How's Mark? What have you been up to, buddy? Anything fun? Paintbrush, 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 paintbrush. What goes over there? They can live up there. Masking tape I don't need. Glue. Live at the back. Trying to find the motivation to hobby now for an hour or so. We need a bit of bender. But what are your options? What have you got that you could do? I'm wondering whether I could put Plague Marines on these, but I've only got this size and like 8 of them or 10 of them or something. See what we could do. We could put a Tyranid on one. That'll work. Yeah, that's super glue go. Come back. Well, that'll be all right. Turn a bit of build in. Put them this way around. Yeah, do a little bit of brown on his base, but that works. Better than not having him on a base, eh? The No Cremunda Club. Was ist das? Was ist das No Cremunda Club? Ah, I see. Oh well, never mind. Never mind. They got to match. It's close. We'll put a little bit of this into it. Yeah, just you missed that. I shook the paint with the lid off onto my t-shirt. It's an old t-shirt. We only wear old t-shirts around here. This turn was a long time ago, Mark. I believe you were here back then. So I don't want to use that as a good paintbrush, and I can see I'm just going to get super glue on it because I'm not letting it dry. So I'm going to clean it. Use one of these shitty brushes instead. I think I was in America doing this. Potentially. Can't see now. There you go. It's called making a mess and getting paint on the thing, which I didn't want. Yeah, that's the new thing this week. As is, we're also on Facebook. We're on YouTube. So you'd rather watch that then? By all means, do. Because we've got our new internet, so I thought I might as well up it a little bit. It's weird how 60 FPS on like miniature stuff really helps with clarity. Because the funny thing is, the bit rate is now lower on the camera, but the quality is improved. Yeah, he's based. Right, what else was I need to tidy up? We need to tidy up that paint. Daku Bear, you're there. I need a container for bases. This one will do. I have a million bases kicking around. I have a feeling that's his mask he's getting. You can't see because I'm zoomed in. Two more bases, chuck them in there. Should put my first Space Marine I did on this base rather than this crappy Martian Iron Crust, whatever I did. You can go on one of them, can't you? Still got to brown out so we can. Where'd that crap brush go? I keep putting it back. Come here. I do need to be fancy. Back on the shelf. That's good. There's 2 models now with proper bases. I didn't have to do anything to worry about. Okay, another base for the box. I should really check where the lid's on before I shake it and put it back. EG, yes, there's my EG thing. If you're buying models in the UK or Europe, please do check out the Element Games link. I'm trying to remove some, what's the word, tufts off this base. Struggling. Dark Angels transfers. Didn't know you could get them from EG. Thought they were just a Games Workshop only thing. The Legion one, that is. Knocked his arm off now. I think these guys are too big for those bases. Sounds good. Cheers. Right, he's going on here no matter what. Let's fix his arm. Get into bed. Good night, Paul. Have a good one. Hope you're feeling. What's the word I'm looking for? More energized soon. I'll catch you later. Good night. You can go up there now. We're getting somewhere on the desk. So these bits need to go in my to paint box, which is where's my to paint box gone? Here it is. Panel, punishments, bits, those, and those. You need to go up on. I'm running out of space on my metallic shelf. That needs to go in that box as well, or I'll lose that. Blows up. Go there. And then hiding back here behind Mikey Boy. Oh, it just accidentally happened. What an accident befell you. Do like this guy. This guy's cool. Who knows? You put MiG2826 at checkout for extra crystals. Good lad. I don't think I get any, but you get them. I can't believe how big these Death Guard look when they're all together. It's not even including this big chunk, and he's just got normal armor on. Looking forward to getting some paint on some of these ones, though. That's very delicate. These are the ones that were just slathered in null oil. Well, this actually looks like Agrax Earthshade. Was he glued, or was he... He was glued. Yeah, impressive. ivory. Right, you can go in there. They need to be painted, so they can go next. That needs to be painted up. He needs to go in the orc box. Keep forgetting to put him in it. So you've what are the pre-shaded in? What have you done? Rakath. Interesting. I'll potentially go a little bit paler than Rakath. But you haven't done anything wrong. Just over the top of Rakath, get an ivory. Because by the time we put the dirt on, this is nearly dry. I can get my fingerprints in it still. By the time you put all the filth on, that Rakath's going to drop it right down. So you pump it up as bright as you can stand. Oh look, another Reaver Titan part. If anyone wants a Reaver Titan for a really good deal, let me know. What Chinese? The base box. You go back over there. The gold. I can go over there. It's in the metallic. How is this guy drying? Let's have a look. That one's still a bit wibbly wobbly. No, wobbly wobbly. Yeah, a little bit wibbly wobbly still. It's going to be a nightmare to package some of these up. Yeah, I wouldn't, basically. Like, yeah, Games Workshop paint scheme would be fine if that's the only highlight colour you use, but because we're going to badly dirty them up, we need to go paler. Okay, I'll show you one. I can find them. Nothing on. I need another really useful box. So if we look at this guy, if you look at down his bottom of his legs, this is dirt. Look how dull it is compared to his head. So the thinking is, because this, when you look at a model, the first thing you want to notice on him is his head. Regardless of anything, oh, look, he's done without his spike, whatever he had on top. So not only do you need to make sure your brightest colour is really bright, like in our case, this ivory colour. That's olive flesh. Where the fuck's my ivory? Bright ivory. It looks really, really bright. But once the ivory gets a bit of dirt on it, it's going to toned down. Where is normal ivory? Are you hiding behind that grim dark shadow? Well, don't know where my ivory is. Is it here? Is it? No, that's dark ivory. Yeah, dark ivory is a little bit too dark. But any of the ivories will be fine by the time I airbrush it. But notice how bright his head is. And the second thing I want you to notice is look how much it stands out, because what I did was I made sure that this area behind the backpack was dark. Sort of like surrounds the back of the head. This one actually, he needs his fluorescent eyes done. But you get the idea. Make sure the head is the focus, and the rest of it, it's got lots of different dirts and grimes on that. But the head should always be not necessarily clean, but you should spot it. This looks weird because I've got the pink in the eyes and I've got too bright light on it. There we go. See it. But I always try and make it visible. Because then it's a character, not just a mass of filth. Which is one thing a lot of the Grimdark Compendium videos forget. They just cover everything so much filth that you don't get to see what the fuck it is that the model is. And on something like this, we went the other way and used green as our surround to make him look like his, you know, what he is. I still might get rid of this fucking plague fly. And secondary, we went to make sure you could see his fist as his weapon. Right, Ork box. Come here. Gonna put the squig in it. Use a big squig. The wafting smell of glue from an enclosed box. That's going on there for next week's paintings. I have orc heads here. Why haven't I got orc heads? And orc knives. Well, we're going to have to deal with them because I'm going to start forgetting where I'm putting the orc bits. You know, the deep finished and out the way. These are the Reaver Titan bit. Anyone wants a Reaver Titan? So who's the lads? These two. That one. That one, that one, that one. So I need my mouse. I need a web browser. All the way over here. And then, because Psycho's a legend, he sent me the link to the build instructions. No, they're the Armageddon build instructions. Wrong link. One second, let me get the right ones up. Death Shrouds. Where the am I gone blind? There we go. It was on below the link I clicked. It's more like it. So we've done the main guy. We've done Stabby Hands. We've done the Rocket Man. Done the Big Gun guy. We've done the comms expert, the comms boy. We've done the Breacher boy. The Burner boy is next. And I have a sprue missing. So what parts do we need for this? 76 and 77. 76 is right there. And 77 is a leg. We're looking for a leg. There it is. And then we have choices. We need 79 and 80. 78, 79 and 80. I don't think they're on there. They are flavoring bits. 79 is right here by my finger. There's 80. Oh, where's it at? So that's what, 78, 9, and 80. So it's 78. Now, what does the part look like? It's a head. It is a head. It's a flame. We might as well take this off while we're here. 78 is right there. Oh, that can't be right. '81, '82, '83. Arms. '82. The pipe. '81 with an oven mitt. And '83 is the gun. That should be everybody. Knife. That's the symbol for knife. When I can't find it. It's here, somebody. Look at his weird backpack. See, I think I'm coming to the end of the specialists now, and I think it's just a couple of random dudes we do. I haven't even looked at his arm yet. Let's have a look. Didn't there used to be a load of like burner boys who's like a specific unit? They're no longer a thing. Shame. Interesting to see what the full codex says. Whether they're dropped or not. I only use 400 on here. Just a little witness mark here. Though, bottom anyway. That's cool. Got little holes in those little pipes, but yet they won't put holes in the end of barrels. Maybe it's just to give the barrel sniffer something to do. Lulu, come back. Change. Welcome back. How's it going? Not bad. We've done a bit of work on the knights. We're now just dealing with this burner boy. How about you? What are you up to? Congratulations. What was it and how was it?
Rude alert, rude alert. An electrical fire has knocked out my voice recognition unicycle. Abandoned shop. This is not a daffodil. Repeat, this is not a daffodil.
It's not, it is, Philippe. Good evening. How you doing? Are you well? What's kicking? What's fresh? What are you up to? How was your stream? I'm trying to see whether this is dry enough to sand. No, I can still put my fingernail marks in it, so that's a no, not yet. You doing well? To let me know what you've been up to. Starting to paint the next project, trying to figure out how you turn the colors of a 2D illustration. How you turn the colors of a 2D illustration on a 3D figurine. Dynamite, hello there. You come from a very special corner of the internet, the Philippe universe today. You painted alive nude snails. It was a sticky mess, but you pulled through. Very unique one indeed. What are you up to here? Well, I am a scale model and miniature painter from the UK. And we're currently building some Warhammer Orks because we're working on a big robot thing, one of these. And we've done some work on the top of it, adding loads of details to it. And currently, it's drying. So we're working on other things. Here is an orc we painted the other week.
Enter, stranger.
Let me give you a zoomage in. Oh, too much light. There you go. Yeah, I worked on this guy the other week. And he is small. You've not seen Warhammer, how big it is. There he's next to my finger. So tiny. Some other things we've done recently. We've got an even smaller model we worked on here. So how big? Well, there's my finger, index finger. So he's smaller than my finger. So we've got him. What other things have we done? The thing I always like to show is this big robot here. This fellow is much larger, as you can see there. It doesn't really fit in the full camera, but you have an idea. We don't really do pounds anymore, unless it's sweets, like candy. Then you do it in like ounces and pounds. But so currently, they all start out, if you've never seen Warhammer stuff before, or scaled models, they start out like this on a sprue. You build them, prime them, paint them, build a base. But we do scaled model stuff as well. I've won awards for my scaled model work. So a couple of scaled modelling things I have at hand that both aren't finished. But we've got a bit of a dusty tractor that needs to be finished. We started work on this. Obviously, we need to do more. So that's after we've done a little bit of work. It's obviously not finished. That was more of it before we started putting the oils and the enamel work in there. So you see, we started that in about an hour or so. Get on the wheel. And then another one, which is also in a state of not readiness, is this Citroen 2CV van, where you can sort of see what we were doing. So I used an actual microscope slide, actual glass slide. You see the glass in there? Broken? With silver. What is the silver tape? Gaffer's tape, or what's the other one? Duct tape? Duct tape. And we duct taped a bag on the window. And then look underneath. We did the weathering down the front of the undercarriage. And then under here, the dirty engine bay, and we've got leaves in the radiator. And those details we're not even going to see. Because actually, we handmade this roof rack as well. Because attached to that roof rack, well, actually on the sides, is, if I can find it, bear with me. I have ports everywhere. Ah, here's one. Of these wooden boards, which this one's come off. I think there's actually a thing come off there. Look, a stanchion. Probably got stuck on the other side. But these two here, that will go on there like that. When it's done, you've got ladders and stuff to go over the top. So this was off an actual vehicle, which I recreated in Illustrator, took into Photoshop and fiddled around with it, and then printed it and stuck it on this, and then made the wooden strips and everything for it, and then weathered it through. Yeah, actual wood. We'll get around to finishing it at some point. So the sort of things we do around here. Maybe some more lighting now. And it's not all machines filling email like this. You may see, saw him last time he came in. We're working on a paint job on a giant. The back's getting there. The skin was quite good to do. Fun. If you have any pictures of what you've been doing, Philippe, let me know. I'll get you a permit and share them. Good night, Zach. Have a good one, buddy. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Good night. That's better. He's got his a little bit of schmooze on there, but I think we can deal with that. It's all in the preparation now when you're working on these sorts of things. If you skimp on the prep, you'll see it on your models at the end. That's not good. You got to try and... There's a little fly buzzing around somewhere. I think we got him. So this orc has a flamethrower. Oh, I see burns on his hand. So I do a couple of stages when I'm cleaning up the plastic. We'll do a rough cut out of the sprue. Hey, Builder. Why do you think you couldn't do it? Why do you think you struggled with it? Maybe you don't know which paints, or you don't know how to apply it so it works the same way, or what is it? You have to remind me, I might give you a hand. As long as you keep your lines fairly, when you're painting, fairly deliberate, you should be okay. A lot of people do like a very stylized, like a cell shaded effect these days in the painting. And as you're doing like statues and stuff, believe me, you're gonna have a viewing angle, aren't you? Bill's gonna go make some lunch. Yeah, you'll have a viewing angle, so you can use that to your advantage when you paint. It's not like a miniature where you'll constantly be seeing it from different angles because it'll be on the tabletop. Yeah, once it's on display on like a shelf or on a pedestal somewhere, there is going to be a distinct viewing angle, which will help you out. Yeah, it's not. Lots of reference pictures help when you're doing that sort of stuff. You would basically have the model in a certain orientation, and you have your reference on the screen, and you will literally just copy those lines out. As you know, reference is key for anything. I can just start assembling this guy in a minute. So the way that what I'm doing here is I'm sanding bits of it, because when the sprue is made, when these are made, this has been sort of CNC machined into a big block of aluminium, and it does that bit. Then you have another plate that has the other part of it CNC machined in, and when they go together, it has holes in, the plastic's injected into the sprue, it spreads out, and on brand new sprues, there are certain sculpting techniques that the manufacturers can do to minimize it, but you'll see a tiny little line around an object. See if we can find one. Sometimes they're hidden pretty well, but on this hand, where are we looking? There's a line right around here. It's faint. We'll get a better view on another piece. These pipes are usually good to see them. Yeah, so there's a line right down here. It's the white line that you can currently see. And that should extend through the part. There you go. That's the line there. So you have to tidy all those up. I use the cutting part of a blade and just run it across the part. Yeah, I was cleaning this piece. I'm looking right down here where I know the seam's going to be. It was here, and I've cleaned that part up. But you can sort of see the telltale lines of it. You can scrape away flat areas, but sometimes you have to sand them. Like this is a bit rough here. It's all a bit rough. I'm just going to use some 600 grit, and it's very gentle. There's no force in this. I use my nail to test. There's a tiny bit of a line in there and in there, but it's underneath. So for those, I'm just going to ignore them. So look at this arm. You see there's lots of big old nasty bits of sprue on them. So I've just rough cut this out. So I want to go in here, cut there, try and get a tool in there, cut that one. And a knife. Sometimes you can get away without needing to sand. I can see there's a line right up this muscle here, right up there. Yeah, Yeah, there's a little one just there. There's a little polish. When you sand, you don't need to go nuts. You're not trying to scrub. Just a little bit of a dead weight to the tool. So this needs to come off. Now there's a little nub there from where it was on the sprue. So I want to use the knife. Just ever so slightly dig in and then curl the knife back. Just stops us digging in too far. Now what we'll do, we'll take the body and we'll test fit it. Goes in there. Goes in pretty well, so we're happy with that. That bit's okay, so it's just this part now. Be careful with this because we'll break it. We'll look at how it joins together. It's a half and half on a circle. So we'll cut off the top. We don't need that. We'll use a knife to clean that up. There's a mold line going right down here, and we'll get rid of that lump at the top. Now this is on a circle, so you've got to be careful. If you just cut straight across, you can risk flattening, putting a flat spot on. So a technique I like to do when you get a rounded area like this with a wide connection point, is rather than just going straight across, if you hook your cutters under one side and go at an angle, you've still got a bit of a nub left, but this side is smooth that way. And you can turn it over, catch your cutter, and put this way, and then you have a good base to just sand the remaining part. And you're not going to get a flat spot. You can go in and tidy that if you think it's going to cause a problem, but I don't think it is. I'm going to hold this bit really tight close to the end, and we know that we have a cut point there, so we're going to flatten that off. Some flat. Check it to make sure we're happy with everything. That looks well, it is a connection, like a line, but I'm trying to see whether it looks like a vein or not. No. Because sometimes if it looks like a vein, you can get away with leaving the marks on there, but this one, not so much. It's a bit too artificial, so we'll scrape it away. It's all the way back up here. That one definitely looks like a vein. We'll leave that. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bits. This is the helmet it wants us to use. I don't know whether I like it or not. So we'll just try and tidy those connection points up a little bit more. Yeah, we'll have to, because it looks like fire down here in the front, and he's a burner boy after all. So he's got his leg glued on already. So we will then get his arms. So that's one. We'll go there. Where's his other arm? This one. So we need to put his backpack on first, which is this. So that'll go on. We'll be careful, work out where it goes, because if you get this bit wrong, it'll throw the alignment off. So what we're going to do is be fairly quick about this. We'll take our blue glue. We're going to stick some on here. That. We're going to position this where we think it goes. So roughly there. And then I'm going to take this arm, no, this one, because this one should connect in up into there. Which it does. So we can put our glue into that. A nice amount in. Make sure it sits where it's going to sit, which I think is roughly there. Doesn't. Just move it around till it feels snug. That does, and then we can get our glue again, dab it in there, and hold that too. Like that. Yeah. That's exactly why it's blue. So you can see where it is, you don't put your finger in it. So it's very much the same as, if you've heard of it or used it before, Tamiya Extra Thin. Same chemical properties, so it's do not fall. So it's nice and runny, quick drying, but it's blue, so you can see where it is. And you can also see whether a part is fully glued, what's the word I'm looking for? Where the glue's gone all the way around the joint. So it's really good stuff. So this goes on there and on there. Excellent, that works perfectly. So we'll stick some in there, and we'll stick some on here. Paulie in our community calls it tracer glue, which is, you know, exactly what it is. As you see where it is, you don't get your fingers in it, make a mess. You can still touch it and it'll put fingerprints in, but it definitely helps. Like, I won't buy normal clear glue nowadays because this is just so much better. Where'd that helmet go? There we have Burner Boy. So these orcs that we're working on at the moment, these are all like, what's the word? A special commando unit. So they don't just go in with like axes and guns shooting wildly. They're supposedly like a special sort of advanced stealthy unit. So this is the guy in charge. We've got a comms specialist with a weird gun. They've got a guy with just a big gun. We've all got special backpacks on. Got a guy with a crazy potato masher weapon. Don't know what it is. We've got a breaching hammer and grenades and such. And then we've got an orc with a stick that has rockets on. More grenades and knives on his back. Speaking of knives, we have the knife man who likes his knives. He's carrying 2 big knives, but also having a knife on his hip and a knife between his mouth. And the one we've just done, which is the Burner Boy, who has a flamethrower. And he's got scars up his arms. He's got oven gloves on. And a big fuel tank on his back. So we're getting there on those. But we are about finished, I think, today. I think I'm going to leave this shield, which went into the shed earlier on and flattened this central section, and then we filled these. There's marks on here, like it had a design on it. But we've filled those in, and it's still just a little bit soft. I can still see fingerprints or nail marks in the filler. So I'm going to leave it for a day, and then I'll sand that flat, and then we can put a custom decal on top of that. But if you've liked the stream, by all means, drop us a follow. We do also stream live on YouTube as well, if you'd rather watch there. If you just search Solar Studios on YouTube, you'll find the link for that. I do need to get a LinkedIn channel. Also, we don't have any of the AI bullshit on our channel. That's all been disabled, so your stuff you say in chat or whatever isn't going to be harvested by Amazon, so I made sure to delete that. We also did the details on that night. We based that guy. We rebased that guy. One of things. Well, there's a thing about sanding, which a lot of people hate it. Or they hate the idea of sanding. And it's funny the amount of students I've had that have hated sanding, and I've watched them build to try and work out why they hate it. And there was one guy, he got his sandpaper and he had his model and he was going, and I went, whoa, stop, what are you doing? No. The more pressure you put on the model isn't going to sand it more. They have a grit for a reason. All you need to do is dead weight sand. That's it. And you'll sand it. And he changed his whole outlook on sanding. That one little tip. It was funny. Dynamite, thank you for the follow earlier on. Philippe, thank you very much for the raid. Nixby for the biddies as well. We are back. I think we're back on Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? I think we might be back on Tuesday. I'm going to have a look at how my stream days are going. Because we've been doing this schedule for over a month now. I want to see which days are popular, which ones aren't. Yeah, but the good thing is, if you're hobbying or working on something not on stream, you can just put something on like a stream or a YouTube channel or whatever, and you can just sand away while watching, while not paying any attention. As long as you make sure that it's sorted, then it's a non-job. It's a non-job. Anyway, we're just going to end here. Thank you very much for being here tonight, everybody, and for the support. As always, I'll keep you posted about what we do on Tuesday. Good night, Mac. Night, Philippe. Thanks for everybody else who was here as well. Have a good one. Ginge, take care. Have a good one. Good night.